Hello and welcome to OverShadow ShadowCast with your host Thomas Anderson and Abigail Mowat.
Hello! Welcome back.
Is it going to be a good one? No.
The only reason Tommy's saying that is because I'm concentrating very hard on not being sick.
And you got none of my jokes. Like, none of them.
Nope.
None of them. So, this is going to be fun.
I've got a feeling I've caught either somebody super cold or the other person's whatever the heck it was, but
As I said,
we are not feeling very well today.
No, I think it's gonorrhea.
Why do you have to say that?
Because I made gonorrhea tests. And if you think with what you
Did
normally
you?
do... Yes, I did.
What was...
I designed gonorrhea and chlamydia assays. Diagnostic assays. Not for clinical research, but for other research.
How do you do it?
Or clinical use, sorry.
Like, do you pee on a stick or something?
No, because that would be clinical. My assays were not clinical.
What's that? I don't know.
Clinical means for use in humans.
So what were they? Well, was it for in animals then?
No, well, maybe, but it was more for just general testing.
Was it them koalas?
No.
Because I've heard koalas are riddled with it.
They are, but no, it was general testing. So if you were creating a control panel, you know, of chlamydia to create a standard curve during an experiment,
yeah,
you could use my assay to ensure that your control panel worked properly.
Yeah.
You could use my assay, say for example, you were looking at chlamydia or gonorrhea levels, like a number of copies of the viral particle, and you were measuring, say for example, some sort of receptor level, or you know, how much of it is in toilet water, or you know, that sort of thing. You could use my assay to tell you that. You just couldn't use it diagnostically to tell somebody they had chlamydia or gonorrhea. You could use it for anything other than then eliciting a treatment or giving a diagnosis.
Interesting stuff.
Because it takes years to get something CE marked for use in a clinical diagnostic setting, whereas I developed mine in a couple of months. So obviously I didn't have time to do that.
Yeah.
But it was a diagnostic, it was a nucleic acid diagnostic assay.
Cool. Science.
I actually kind of wish somebody could see your face, because that was like 90s. It's like, cool. Science.
Cool.
Just I expected you to have the 90s man hair.
Do you miss the 90s?
I don't remember the 90s other than wearing a lot of green for some reason.
I remember wearing a lot of purple corduroy trousers. I remember wearing a lot of purple.
Yeah, I was wearing a lot of green, including green corduroy. Or beige corduroy, that was what I was wearing.
Corduroy came back not that long ago.
I don't care about
and
corduroy.
And people were calling it vintage, and I felt very sad.
I don't care about corduroy, and I don't care about young people being morons. I care about square-toed shoes. Get them away from me.
Yeah.
Get them away.
Be gone. Back to the pits of hell with you, square-toed shoes.
No.
And also chunky platforms and chunky heels.
I'm less bothered by those. Square-toed shoes are weird because...
Just hear clunk, 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 clunk.
No, square-toed shoes are weird because your foot isn't square-toed.
Do you know what square-toed shoes remind me of? They just remind me of the witches. Because one of the signals of seeing a witch was them wearing square-toed shoes because they had no toes. Do you remember that?
Which doesn't quite make sense because the pad of the foot is actually shaped similarly to the toes. It's weird.
But again, it's a book written for children.
No, I get it. But no, it bothers me because it doesn't fit. It's such a lazy way to make a shoe. Just that's the rough. What is a foot? It's basically a rectangle. Here's a shoe. Next, it's just so lazy and horrible and ugly. And it's
open-toed, chunky-heeled clogs. Do you remember those?
No.
So think of a high heel, but chunky heel.
Remember, I'm
square-toed and open-toed.
Remember, I'm a boy, right? So I wasn't looking at this for what I was going to wear. I also not necessarily looking at women from a sort of, ooh, aren't you sexy kind of way, because I was a child. So primarily I'm getting my opinion from Friends episodes where Rachel was cutting about in square-toed shoes that just freaked me out. So
Rachel was a style icon.
it's not about style for me. I have a guttural response to square-toed shoes that just don't make sense, especially when the foot is exposed and you can see that the foot and the platform are not the same shape, and it's just strange.
Do you know what I hate? I hate the fact that crop tops are back. That I cannot find a top that actually basically goes below my midriff.
Well, they aren't back. They never went away. Midriff exposure was always there.
No, but they've come back in full force.
To the point where they're the only thing available.
If you go into normal clothing stores now, there's hardly any tops that actually they kind of go.
You mean full tops?
Like if yeah. So basically, I wear high-waisted jeans because no other jeans fits me properly.
Mm-hmm.
And
are you talking about jeans or jeggings?
No, jeans. Okay. High-waisted skinny jeans.
Right.
Because nothing else really fits me.
Right.
Because of my body shape. And literally, sometimes it's a struggle to try and find a top that goes below that. And if I lift my arms up, you can see my stomach, and I don't particularly want that on view.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You are...
I'm a chunky monkey.
Slightly larger than athletic.
I am much, much larger than that.
And I think you're trying to head roughly towards that, because you have been doing a lot of exercise in the past couple of years and losing quite a bit of...
timber.
Chunkiness. My question is, if you were already where you wanted to be, would you be okay with those clothes? Or is it just not your type of thing at all?
Not my type of thing at all.
Yeah, that's what bothers me about that.
I am a human fridge. I get cold very easily, even in the summertime.
Okay, I'm not talking about your temperature. I'm talking about do you want your midriff exposed? If you think your midriff is nice, or even if you think it's nice, would you cover it up?
If I had never been big and didn't have like loose skin and things like that, I probably would. But I do now, and I don't really want that on show.
Okay. Well, you're losing the weight quite gradually, so I'm not sure how much of that you'd actually have.
Yeah, it's because I was really big for a very, very long time. Think about it. I was obese as a child, as a teenager, and as a young adult. I'm still technically obese now, but far less so.
I've never been obese.
Nice for you.
No, I just didn't overeat and did enough exercise. It's not necessarily nice. I've been fat-ish, but, people yo-yo. Especially if they've got health issues or whatever. So but I've never been like that.
I was listening to a radio thing, and there was an MP who basically said that all fat people basically need to take accountability for themselves, and they just need to stop eating as much. And I was like, do you know what? How about somebody who is in an incredibly well-off job and doesn't really probably need to worry about quite a lot, comparing themselves to somebody who's in debt or who's struggling with mental health or whatever and can only afford what they can afford. And a lot of the times affordable food is very unhealthy for you. And not everybody has time to work out. So how about make the living wage an actual living wage and stop increasing the prices of everything else so people don't have to work overtime and are able to go out and enjoy life?
I agree with what you're saying when it comes to living wage and food and enjoyment, but I disagree with the idea that any of that means that people don't have responsibility. Nobody force-fed anybody, and if they did, then that's either a parental issue or a crime. There is an element of that. I don't think society's response should be, just fix it yourself. I disagree with that, but there does need to be more self-responsibility, because too many people are happy to say it's somebody else's fault, like society or McDonald's making me eat McDonald's. No, they advertised it and you couldn't control yourself. I'm not saying you specifically. I'm talking about wider environment, the wider
Well,
world.
I know from personal experience the reason I was big was portion size, but also then as I got older, I used food to compensate for mental health reasons.
Right. So that means that we need to put more emphasis in healthy eating knowledge and mental health treatments and access and all that sort of stuff. It doesn't mean that the person themselves doesn't have any responsibility to, if those things are available, use them.
No, yeah, I understand that, but there's a reason why people start it.
No, I'm not
There's
saying there's not. I'm just saying that the person has to accept responsibility, otherwise there's no way they can get
Mm.
past it.
No, I know that now. I know that now because
Because you met me.
no, I learned
Yes.
that long before you.
No. Remember when we met? This is kind of weird. I was on the left, like the original meaning of left wing to your right wing.
No, I'm talking about eating habits.
Yes, I know, but I'm trying to make a point.
Okay.
I was on the left wing to your right wing, the original meaning, which was economics. And it's because
Yeah.
those who were more socially minded economically were on the left. I think it's a French Parliament thing. They were on the left wing of the Parliament, and the people who were more conservative financially, more right wing financially, were on the right wing. So that's where the two come from, I think. I don't think it was deliberate. I think that's just where it ended up being. And, so, yeah, but I think I'm a little bit sociologically, I might be more right wing to your left wing. I'm not sure though.
I don't know. Anyway, shall we maybe move on to the actual topic we're supposed to be talking about?
No, because we haven't actually started. We're just having a conversation. There's no topic at the minute.
Did we not?
No, we haven't actually started. We just said hello and then
My
started
brain.
talking. There's no topic.
My brain.
My point that I was trying to make was that
Sorry.
since I met you, you have had a much healthier relationship with scientific evidence, data. Like I know it might seem a bit harsh, but I refused to reduce the quality of my conversation with you just because you weren't able to understand it to begin with. Do you remember when we were discussing how the Scottish Parliament worked and you had absolutely no idea? So I just said...
I still don't know.
So, no, that's okay because the Haunt variant is difficult to understand. But when it came to actually knowing what the parties were, how many seats they won, who was in what position, who was running the government, who was doing this, that, and the next thing, you didn't really understand that because you were surrounded by a lot of propaganda from people who disagreed with the people who'd actually won, shall we say. And so I refused to buy into your interpretation of what was actually happening. And then eventually one day you spent like 6 hours just sitting down with a piece of paper, or several probably, and writing down, what had happened, which party was led by who, what parties believed in what.
Oh, yeah. This is triggering the memory.
Yeah.
This is triggering the memory.
And then we were able to have actual conversations about actual things. Because I remember it was the very first time we talked about politics, you actually said to me, you said, it's great when people come out and they say things like, we need to put more money into the NHS and all that, but where's the money coming from? And then I pointed out to you that if you put money into healthcare, those people who are ill can go to work because you've treated them. So the economy benefits. So it pays for itself. And you were like, what? I've never heard that before. And then you went away and looked it up and you had a couple of disagreements on points here and points there, but we were able to have a conversation about it. But for the first time in your life, somebody didn't just say to you, oh yeah, I know what you mean. They actually told you, no, I think you're wrong there.
I can't remember that conversation specifically, but I know there've been a lot of conversations like that.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not, so I'm not trying to like pander it off like, oh, I don't remember. I'm just saying I honestly don't remember that particular one.
No, but that was just the first one. And that conversation where you talking about that MP saying you have to take responsibility, you're bang on right about everything that you said afterwards. Absolutely. I think your assumption that he has an easy life and doesn't have to worry about things, I think that's an assumption if you're basing it just on him being an MP.
That is an assumption.
But
That's me assuming.
Yeah, you're assuming. But to turn around and say, why don't you do something about mental health awareness? Why don't you do or access to help?
Yeah.
Do something about healthy eating knowledge. Do something about. I don't think that we can blame companies for advertising their food necessarily. If you want
I never said to blame. I never said.
I know. I'm just trying to point out that your original point sounded an awful lot like you were trying to say that personal responsibility isn't the solution, and I'm saying that personal responsibility is the only hope of a solution, but it doesn't mean that personal responsibility is the only facet of that solution. If companies are selling you food and not telling you what's in it, you can't possibly make a decision about what you're going to eat.
Yeah. I think that there should be more emphasis on trying to create like healthy ready meals instead of literally just rubbish.
There should be more emphasis on a shorter work week and work day so people can go home and cook actual food.
Yeah.
You know, like somebody pointed out that the original work day was 8, 8 and 8. You slept for 8 hours, you worked for 8 hours, and you did stuff in your own time for 8 hours. And 8 hours is more than enough time to spend with your family, to cook a meal, all sorts of stuff like that. The problem is, the work of 8 hours includes your 1 hour for lunch, 1 hour or more of travelling, and then 1 hour or more of travelling back. And by the time you've taken all that into account, your 8 hours is gone to 11 or 12, leaving you with 4 hours to do everything you need to do in the day, which means you get no relaxation time and you can't cook a proper meal. You can't spend time with your family. So that then means that by the end of it, you're chronically unhappy and you're eating bad food, and so you bloat up and you have mental health problems.
It's a vicious circle.
Not you, I meant people, not you. This is not...
No, but I am quite bloated at the moment, so that is... I felt like you were saying that right at me there.
Yeah. But...
I ate too much bread and now I feel sick. I ate bread yesterday. I didn't eat any today.
You have a habit of just... I had some Chinese food. Yeah, what did you have? Everything.
Variety is the spice of life.
When I'm exercising, I can eat an ungodly amount of food.
Yeah, like scarily. Like I remember you telling me how much you ate. I'm like, I'd be sick after about a third of that.
If I'm exercising, so I'm expending energy, remember, like I can cycle like 30 miles, or at least I could when I was exercising. I could have a bowl of chicken noodle soup, Peking style spare ribs, 2 portions of rice, Angus beef po. And sometimes I could chuck in some noodles as well.
No, I would actually be physically sick after eating all of that instead of just feeling sick.
But I would take my time. I'd eat that over like 2 hours.
Oh no, not. I've got a really bad habit of scoffing food down. Literally, I can eat a meal in about 10 minutes.
But you shouldn't.
No,
you should take your time.
That is self-control. I have no self-control. I get too excited about the food and I want all the food at once.
But, I think we'll move on. I just thought that was interesting from the point of view of like this was 2 people having an actually useful conversation. I don't think you see enough of that in the actual world.
No.
What have you been playing?
Well, I have been attempting to play GTA with yourself, but my internet kept. It's not the internet. Sorry. It seems to be the servers not working for me because it kept kicking me out.
Yeah, I did have a few server issues, but I think I'm wondering if
I got really annoyed.
I'm wondering if possibly your internet is having a difficulty and that's sort of combining with the server and it's not working.
It's actually been a lot better. The internet, I tried to download a game on my Xbox, and because we've talked about this before, normally it would sit around 2 megabytes per second and it would go down to kilobytes. And it was sitting at about 25, 30. megabytes to download a game, which was a lot better.
It's a lot better. It's absolutely nothing for me, and that's kind of the point I'm trying to make, is that maybe there's some other issue with your internet.
No, and we've had many people out, and everybody says it's fine.
Right, but I'm just... another issue that is coupling with some issue that's happening with the actual server.
Yeah.
And the combination of these two issues is causing a unique problem. Because I think when I was struggling, it was something to do with my internet connection through the console I was using, plus the server. And I had to contact them to get them to fix it. So I think it could just be a wee problem like that, and it will eventually fix itself.
Yeah. Because it's happened twice now when we've tried to play.
Yeah.
But hopefully it'll get better. I'm actually going to switch on my Xbox this evening and see if it's going to work or not. Like in terms of if there's any updates or anything like that. Maybe it's just an update that needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But we seem to have this really annoying habit of whenever we want to play a game, a specific game, that's when it decides it needs an update.
Oh, yeah. That's yeah.
And then, like 5 hours later, finally able to play.
Yeah, that's annoying. What were we doing when we played GTA? I think we only got one mission did.
Yeah.
We only got one mission did.
We only got one mission completed. And I honestly can't actually remember what it was because I think it kicked me out right afterwards. So I don't actually...
We stole the fancy cars from the police impound.
Yes. And, did we die?
Nope.
Yay.
It recorded 14 kills, but we killed about 500 people because the police who were spawning in didn't count as the original enemies. It was just the original 14. Yeah, that was
annoying.
So we didn't know how many we'd actually killed, because it's probably the one time you would have killed way more than me, because you took cover.
I just kept lobbing grenades over the wall at them.
I went looking for the car, and I cleared out everybody inside, so I went looking for the two cars, and I set them up for us to make an escape run, and I put down some bombs so that when we drove to get out, we could boom them.
Kaboom.
What am I talking about? We could blow them up so that we could clear away any blockages, but you took the role of just covering the entrance so that if anybody tried to get in, and that meant you would have got way more kills than me, but for some reason it didn't count any of them. It's just sexist.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, that's all we did though, isn't it?
Yeah, we did a few custom matches on Halo, and
Halo
I started
2.
to get
One.
I started to get. I can't remember.
It was one.
Okay.
It was swords.
Yes, and we just kept killing each other, which was really annoying.
Yeah, I think it was. It turned out you were killing me slightly before I was killing you, because I was getting the from the grave kills.
Yeah, but then again, sometimes you did stick with my sticky, and then I would like kill you, and then the bomb would go off. So that's fair enough.
Grenade.
You said it was called a sticky.
Grenade. It's not a bomb. It's a sticky grenade. Do you know I was
Pendanticman.
When I was a wee boy, I used to call them flare grenades. Because
I think you told me that before.
In the old graphics, they're sort of like, they look like blue fire.
Yeah. Nice.
Human grenades and flare grenades. Frag grenades and stickies. Yeah. You've played Halo 3 a bit, haven't you? They get spike grenades in that.
I've not gotten that far.
Yes, you have.
I can't remember.
You have. You've played about half the game, so they had spike
grenades.
No,
I haven't. I've not played half the game.
You told me... Okay, well, I'm not sure about half then. I am generalising there. But you told me about a mission far enough in that I know you would have got those, because I'm pretty certain you get them on mission 1.
Okay, well, maybe I did. I honestly... It's been so long since I've played it, I honestly cannot remember.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you should restart when you do go back to it. What was I playing? We'll move to me playing, because you didn't play very much.
No.
I've done two things that I didn't do that were GTA with yourself or Halo with yourself, which was Divinity Original Sin and Rome Total War 2.
Okay, how did Divinity go with your brother? Or Or did you play it by yourself?
No, I played it with Mind Blood, and we did very, very well.
One day there is going to be a week where you don't say brother. You have to say brother.
It was it was good. But there was one thing that really annoyed us. We did a couple of fights and it was all okay. And we tried to do a couple of fights where we just had to load it back up because we were woefully under-leveled. We thought, where are we going? There's nowhere else to go on this map. So we had another look around this area that we knew something was going to happen, but we thought we had to go somewhere else to fix it. It turns out we'd already been that somewhere else, and the solution was now in the craft menu, not our inventory. That's why we hadn't seen it before. My brother was able to find the solution in the craft. It was a spell we had to use, but we thought it was a spell scroll, but it wasn't. It was in the craft menu to build it, basically.
I'm going to build a spell.
Mm-hmm. So we'd have to have gone somewhere else to get the items, but we'd already been there, so we already had them, so we could do it. So yeah, we just didn't realise. We did it, and we got to this new area, and we were running around there, and it was great. But just after we used the spell, you end up in a fight with basically one guy, wizard, and I'm like, oh, this is easy. And he then immediately summons in like air spiders. It's like made of electricity and stuff like that. You're like, right, okay, so we'll fight him and we'll destroy these and it'll be fine. But just as it gets down to about one spider left, he summons more in. Now, none of these spiders are actually giving any experience points because they're summons.
Okay.
And when we did eventually kill him, the summons remained. So we had to kill about... The
spiders remain?
Yeah, the summoned spiders remained. So we had to kill about 12 spiders and we got no experience points reward for it.
Oh, that is a pain. That's a pain.
If that's the case, if you kill them and get no reward for it because they're summoned, when you kill the summoner, they should immediately die.
Yeah, and you should be getting experience points for that.
Well, if you don't give experience points, then their life should be attached to the summoner. If I focus down the summoner and then once he dies or she dies, the rest should go. The rest of the spiders should disappear. If I'm not getting XP for it, they should just disappear. That should be the trade-off. But no, they remain even after the summoner is dead and we have to kill them and get no experience for it. It was really annoying. It really annoyed me. It really got to me. It bothered me.
That annoyed me as well.
But we're progressing through the next section of the story, and it's... Yeah, we actually are back on track now. We were genuinely stuck about where to go. And normally I'd look that up, but we were able to figure it out this time. Just genuinely a wee bit lost in where I was supposed to go. Yeah. And it's always been a question of which boss do you want to fight now? Which one of them do you think, or which dungeon do you want to go through? You know, what quest do you want to do? Mm-hmm. Or do you think we can do? But in this area... Genuinely, we tried both the available fights, couldn't win them, and we're like, well, what are we supposed to do? We're totally lost. We've done everything. But we worked it out eventually. But it was a bit odd, frankly. Yeah, it was just, it was weird to hide the spell in the craft menu and not let us know it was there.
Yeah. But do you think there'd be some sort of indication, like within the menu or something like that, like trying to highlight it if you went in there?
Well, not necessarily even in the menu. It should have been in the log book.
Yeah.
To tell us, well, this is the progress of the story of the mission you're on. This is what you need to do next. But it wasn't. It was weird.
Crazy.
Yep. So we had that was just weird. So we what else did we do? So we went into this area and we were exploring it, and we came across another fight, which it started off really badly, but because we've leveled up properly now and we know what we're doing, we were able to salvage it quite easily.
Yeah.
And we also have a surfeit of resurrect spells scrolls. You can resurrect
all the resurrection
members.
Power.
Yeah, so we have an absolutely ridiculous number of those now, like 30.
We are immortal.
Yeah, basically. It costs a turn to use one, essentially, because of the AP usage, but it's
worth it in the end.
You get your guy back and he gets all the experience from killing other people. And Medora doesn't regularly go down. Yeah, we've got a party of 3 men to 1 woman. we don't think that we'll actually get any more party members, because I was thinking that there would be one for each type of focus.
Yeah.
But that's too many. You'd end up with like 9 wizards. So I realised that it was split into functionality. So there's 4 extra party members, a wizard, an archer, a melee combatant, and a rogue who can either, you know, like run up and stab people or pick locks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the way it's split.
Well, that seems fairer.
Yeah, but it does mean that we found all the companions we're going to be using, and we immediately put the 2, like the archer and the rogue, we just put them away in the corner, and we took the melee and we took the mage, and
you can come back out when you've learned to behave. So
we have 2 melee, 1 for attack and 1 for defense, and we've got 2 mages, 1 for Hydrosophist and 1 for Aerothurge. So that's air and water spells, because they're the 2 most useful functionally. Hydrosophist is healing, which everybody in the party has a point in healing, so that they can all do healing spells. And the Aerothurge spells, so Hydrosophist is things like, also you like chill people to freeze them, so they can't move for a couple of turns. And with Aerothurge you can use attacks that cause them to be stunned. So while my main guy is going to maximize 3 skill routes of Man-at-Arms for Man-at-Arms skills, because that's the actual skills he uses.
Yeah.
So, you know, things like taunt or certain attack types or punching.
I still love the fact that taunt is an actual thing. Like, because it just sounds like a little thing a kid does. A little kid does.
I get it. Taunt. But if
poke them with a stick.
Tactically speaking, to me that word doesn't seem that strange, because I've been aware of taunt being used that way since I was a child.
Yeah, but
for you, it's you know,
it's funny.
So there's other abilities where my guy can like knock people down. I also gave Medora, the damage dealer, a talent called Bully. So she does 50% damage, extra damage, to anybody who is slowed, crippled, or knocked down. And as the Man-at-Arms skills are very heavily focused on knocking people down, she does a lot of damage now. Like, I've seen her do damage that'll take 300 points away. And you're talking about the biggest enemy we've ever seen would be about 1,200 points. And that's like a boss level sort of type thing. Regular enemies are about 600 or 500. And she can take 300 in one hit.
Is that because of this bullying thing that you said you have?
Yeah, the bully talent. She gets 50% extra damage. So if she crit hits, she's got a weapon that does up to about 130. If she crits, that'll go up to 200 odds, and then she does an extra 50, it'll go to 300 odds.
That's insane.
Yeah. So she really does do a lot of damage, and my guy can take a beating because he can heal himself, and he's also got a shield, so he blocks about a quarter of the attacks that come his way. He's got 800 points of, he's got nearly 900 points of health and ridiculous armor level. So he just basically tries to soak up all the damage, and he can do it very well. And then there's whenever we're vastly outnumbered, my brother focuses first on using his skills that stun and freeze people, so that we're only fighting a couple of them a turn, and we just focus one down and then move between them. But cool. Medora also has the whirlwind ability, so she crit hits on knocked down people with a whirlwind. She'll take like a couple of hundred off of each of them. So she does like 500 to 1,000 points of damage in a turn. So she can have some real powerful abilities.
That's just insane. That is truly insane.
Yeah. But yeah, sorry. So my guy's is Men-at-Arms, armor, and shield proficiency, so that he can take up all the damage. She's two-handed weapons and Man-at-Arms and armor proficiency, so she can take a hit, but she can also do a lot of damage. And it means that we did focus though on putting an extra point on Hydrosophist into all the characters, 1 point at least, so that they could use the healing spells. Because 4 people able to heal each other up is extremely powerful compared with just 2 or 3. But it's yeah.
Sorry,
No,
yeah, I just love the fact that this has been able to kind of like keep going for you, because I know that you were really unhappy with how Assassin's Creed, the last one you played was.
It was the earliest one set at the time, and it was considered to be the beginning of the actual Assassin Order. So what word means beginning?
Start.
No. Begins with...
Oracle?
Close.
Origins.
Yeah,
Sorry, Origins. Yeah, because I know you were really, really unhappy with that and how it ended, and the fact that there was not as much as you thought there was going to be.
Well, there's as far as I'm concerned, there's been more story in this game already, and yet it doesn't hyper focus on it quite the same way, but it's already better than it.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm glad that you're enjoying this because of the disappointment of Origins had for you.
Yes, I really despised Origins. But this game was really annoying to both me and my brother. He hated the pacing. I hated the feeling of weakness and having to just jump into things and not be able to make sure everything was, to know what. Basically, I wanted to know what would happen if I ranked up things to level 5 before I put any points in, because I can't get them back necessarily.
Yeah.
But now that we've figured that out and we know what we're doing and we're leveling up properly and we're making sure we're equipped properly and we know how the game works, we're really running at a clip now.
Awesome.
So that feels much, much better. So, we're enjoying it more now. The other game, Rome Total War 2, I saw some videos online about big battles, multiplayer battles, like 4v4 multiplayer battles. And it just made me want to play, so I booted it back up to play it. And a couple of turns in, I've shown you before, they've got the politics. So the Roman Empire is, in this, there's 4 Roman factions.
Yeah.
Pompey's, I think it's Lepidus's, and Antony's Rome, and then Octavian's, which was the actual Roman Empire. It had actual Rome. And I've wiped out the other 2, it's just me and Antony's Rome now. And just as I was about to attack Antony's Rome, my version of Rome, just like all the others I assume, but just like in the main game, the Roman Senate is made up of different parties, and if they get unhappy enough, the parties will leave and take their faction of the empire with them.
You cannot have my faction, I am upset with you, goodbye!
Exactly. And they take the provinces and armies and navies that they control with them. Well, that happened to me just as I was about to attack Sparta. And what happened was that I thought, oh, that's annoying. That's my best army, my only navy, but I'll figure it out. And I did all the things I could to figure it out, and then I hit, next turn button and waited. And when it came to their turn, the game crashed.
Oh my god, that is literally the most annoying thing.
Yes.
Oh, does it have an autosave function?
Well, yes, but it would have autosaved after that. So what I had to do was I had to load up a turn that was 5 turns before, because I saved it was 5 turns before, because it was clearly that faction's not supposed to exist and the game couldn't handle it. So what I did now is I've got a rule about keeping as much money as possible, at least 10,000 denarii in my coffers at any one point, and you can bribe political factions and you can pay for certain things to happen that increases their loyalty. So whenever I'm at risk of a revolution or a rebellion, I just pay it off. Because clearly this game type doesn't work if you go into full rebellion. So now I do that, and I'm focusing on trying to take over the world as quickly as possible so that I can try and prevent it, to stop the issues. And I've got it working quite nicely now. I've got 2 armies moseying about in Greece, taking everything. I've got 2 down in North Africa, where Egypt is, and I've got 1 all the way up in what you'd have to say is Eastern European, sort of like Russia.
Yeah.
and I'm just marching them around. And once I've got enough money saved up, I'll build another couple of armies to take over the bits of Europe that I've left, because I'm still trading with them.
Yeah.
So I haven't invaded anybody I'm trading with. But it's
Can I ask
just about speed. It's just about speed to try and reduce the chances of, and making sure that reduce the chances of a rebellion. And also, when I am doing research, I've been focusing now on research which increases tax or decreases, especially this one, political action costs. So that when I'm bribing people, it saves money. It doesn't cost as much, so I can do it more reliably.
I was just going to ask, if you ever have an occasion where something like crashes and you have to start something a few turns back, do you replay it the same way that you did before, or do you change it up?
If the crash was caused by the way I played it, I need to change it up.
Okay.
But if not...
But other than that...
Well, I'm not going to be stupid. I'm not going to march straight into a battle I know I can't win. I can't,
But that's like not being authentic, though. That's like...
How is that not being authentic when the game crashed? It's the one not being authentic.
But I mean, you know what I mean? Like, is it not like a bit like cheating in a way?
When you're trying to decide what to do tactically, you make the best decision that you have with the information that you have. So you make the best decision that you can with the information that you have. If you know that doing this leads to bad things, you won't do it. You can't repeat it once you know the outcome like you don't know the outcome. You can only say, well, this is what I would have done if I didn't know. But once you do know, you can't repeat that because you're going to subconsciously do something.
Very well, then.
But if I'm being honest with you, I very rarely make a tactical mistake of that nature. Normally, I just fail to win something. It's not that the attack or defensive movement was the wrong choice. It's just that I normally then didn't necessarily execute.
Yeah. I was just curious, that's all.
So... it's very rare for me to be in a situation where changing my mind would actually have been of benefit. So if I go into a battle, say for example,
because you're so smart.
Yeah, but if I go into a battle and I got the tactics wrong, or something happened that I hadn't foreseen, I'm still going to learn from what happened. And I'm still going to change and try and win the battle. So if you're arguing whether or not the battle, I'm probably going to repeat the battle. It's just I'm probably going to win it because I'm going to know what's happening. I'm not going to set up my artillery or my archers right behind a hidden cavalry charge if I know it's there. So,
Okay.
That's just.
I was just curious, that's all.
Mm-hmm.
Are you upset now that I've accused you of cheating?
No, because I don't think it's cheating. I'm not loading up to do it.
I've not accused you of cheating.
Yeah.
I would just like to put that forward.
Because it's not.
I was wondering if you saw it like that.
No, because it's not cheating. If the game crashes and I have to load it up and delete all the saves that are corrupted, that's not cheating.
Okay.
So
I'm not accusing you of cheating.
I know you're not. I'm answering. No. I'm just answering the question that you put forward when you did.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm just answering the question that you put forward. It's not cheating if you load it back up because your game crashes and the saves are corrupt. And also, may I just point out that if something does cause a bug, you can't just repeat it because you're just going to keep causing the bug.
Okay. I believe you. What are you doing?
I shall not tell lies.
Well, is that all that you have to disclose of your gaming habits for the week?
Oh, there was one thing. GTA Trilogy HD is coming out in the UK on the 11th of November.
Oh, cool.
Which is Armistice Day.
Is that Remembrance Day?
Yeah.
But is that Remembrance Day here as well? I can never remember.
No, that is Remembrance Day here.
Okay.
Which is probably why it's being released on the 11th, because the Americans don't care about other people. I'm not entirely sure if this particular game is being made here or not.
Not entirely sure, I'm afraid.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have a problem with it, because I actually don't think GTA games glorify violence. They actually demonstrate how horribly pointless it is.
Yeah.
But
I agree.
Yeah, it's it is
That's
that
interesting.
day. Yeah.
Cool.
I think it's supposed to be £45 as well. And
I
there
don't
was a
know.
trailer released, and I have now got to go and make up my mind whether or not they were artistic with it or whether or not they just didn't bother. But apparently they have tried to add in new game mechanics like better lock-on systems for weapons.
Well, that's good.
And that would be enough, because the question is, with the old game or engine and coding, they could only change so much. So did I expect a full remake, or was a severe remaster enough for £15 per game? I need to see more of it. The trailer actually doesn't look that impressive to me, but every now and again it gave me something that made me second guess that impression. And so I need to see more. Like bigger sections, not just like 3 seconds of a train or something like that. I need 15 seconds or a minute of something happening so I can really have a look. And the trailer doesn't
Which is
have
understandable.
that. Yeah.
Is that all you wish to talk about today?
Yes.
Then we hope you guys have liked what you've heard today. If you want to hear more, you can always like the video. You can subscribe to the channel. You can hit the notification button from when we upload. You can share it with your friends and family and your enemies alike. You can leave a comment down below. Any stories you want us to discuss, any games you think we might enjoy, please let us know. You can email us at overshadow.shadowcast@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
All the information is going to be left in the description box down below. Hopefully. Yay.
Yay.
And that's all that's really for me to say. And all I can end on is thank you guys so much for listening. If you are listening in still, thank you. Thank you for staying with us.
I mean, if they're not here, you're not actually thanking them because they're not here, so you don't need to necessarily qualify and quantify it.
If a thank you's heard in the forest and no one's around to hear it, is it really a thank you?
It depends on whether or not you're thanking the forest.
Can the forest hear you?
Doesn't matter.
Anyway, thanks guys. Hope you guys stay well.
Mm-hmm.
Bye bye.
Stay safe. Bye bye.